On today's episode of Watch JR Go, I pre-order the new Mustang Mach-E, or Mach-E? Mach-E. What is going on, guys? I'm Watch JR Go, and today the live stream for the Ford event just ended a couple seconds ago, and while it was ending, I already pre-ordered the Mustang, so we'll just go ahead and just cut straight into that. Here is the pre-order process for the new Mustang Mach-E GT. All right, this is still going on here. Where's the button for, how do you buy that thing? Yes, I watched the reveal. How do I pre-order it? I need the GT. Select GT. Extended range battery. Black sounds like the right color. Okay. I guess I can't choose anything else. $500 to reserve this thing. Hey, look at that. I got a Ford account. Signed right in. And there we go. I've got my reservation. Reservation date 11/17/19. Reservation number 7079. I was done ordering this thing before the event was even completely over, and apparently I'm not even close to the front of the line there. 7079 is way out there. But black on black, black seats, black paint, the right wheels. Those wheels look pretty Huracan-like or rotiform. And of course, I paid the $500 registration that is completely refundable as well if you decide you don't want the car. You know, I also pre-ordered the Faraday Future FF91, and that thing, first, it'll never exist, and the pre-order for that was free, so it wasn't a big deal. And I always wanted to pre-order the Tesla, but I just couldn't stomach the putting $1,000 down and then waiting 3 years or something. So yeah, I mean, here we go. Ford, I think they did it right. Easy, fast, sign in with your Ford account, which I already had because I tried to get a reservation for the Ford GT. I was like, well, I obviously can't afford this, but I bet I can find enough investors to help me buy a Ford GT and, you know, fulfill my life goal of driving it one time. So yeah, I just signed in with my Ford account, threw in the credit card info, and you're good to go in just a couple minutes there. And there's probably going to be a bunch of comments on this video like, you don't have a job. Why are you pre-ordering a $60,500 Mustang Mach-E? And the answer is, it will be the easiest car to sell. I mean, Ford GT levels of easy to sell, but with no requirement that you keep the car for 2 years. It's probably going to be the killer EV. I'm sure it'll be hard to get one when they first come out, and I'd love to drive it, and then it'd be probably an easy flip. I bet that they'll sell for 20 over, and if I pre-order it right, make money. So the Ford Mustang GT, let's talk about it. The Verge has some pictures here. That's a really cool picture of a pearl white one in front of the Peterson. They've got a couple other pictures of it being used. I'll try to throw these on screen. There's the beautiful blue launch edition one. Of course, the GT that I ordered is the all-wheel drive one, 459 horsepower, which is reasonable, I would say, and 0 to 60 under 4 seconds, which is pretty quick. It's not Tesla fast, but you know, it's there. And supposedly there's a Mach-E GT Performance, which will cut it down to a 3-second 0 to 60, which is about normal for, well, everything performance now. So that might be a thing. We'll see about that. They show it having a cooler size frunk. That was shown in the live stream, and that's pretty R8-like or very Tesla-like even. And apparently it can be a cooler with a drain plug at the bottom. So just like the Ford and Dodge trucks that have that cooler built into the back of the bed there. Kind of cool. And there's 2 cup holders inside the lip. Wow, look at all this crazy stuff. So normal charge door, just like anything else, uses the standard J1722 or whatever that is, you know, the 5-pin connector that my Volt takes. So I've already got a charger, 220 volt charger in the garage ready to go for the thing. It's probably an electric charge door. It has pop-out door handles that look like they're electric. I'm excited about that. Very Tesla-like. The car looks like it's some sort of mix between a Model 3 and a Model X, with a pony slapped on the front of it. But the thing about this, instead of a Tesla, is Ford has dealerships everywhere. They have a great service network, a great dealership network, or one that you can work with at least. If the car breaks, you'll know where to get service, even though I highly doubt anything ever goes wrong. Nothing ever goes wrong with my Volt. And the couple times that it has had a little issue, the GM's taken care of it in, you know, a day or two. So it's never been a big deal. I had a bearing go out once. They swapped everything out. I've changed the oil twice, I think. Oil life shows there's plenty left on the current oil change. I put a set of tires on on it for $1,000 when one blew out once. And man, that's been a super reliable car. And it still has an internal combustion engine. So I can't imagine how much better an all EV drivetrain is going to be. And I just expect it to be really good. And everyone's like, well, what about the Bolt? And the Bolt is just ugly, bad, not enough range, and just nothing about it is attractive when the Volt is so much better and had unlimited range with the gas engine. I love my Volt. It is the enthusiast EV, and it's unfortunate that they canceled it. I really just wanted to jump to a Gen 2 Volt because it almost added everything this has. Well, in a very handicapped sort of manner. So the old Volt of mine has almost no infotainment. It's like a radio XM, and sure, it had a USB port. And then the Gen 2 added CarPlay. This thing, the Mach-E, has Sync 4. We're talking about wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, wireless charging for your phone. It looks like dual wireless charging, one for the driver and the passenger, which is such a needed thing. Like, what is going on with these cars only having single wireless chargers? The Audi e-tron had dual, if I remember right. So incredibly nice, because I mean, doesn't everyone need to charge their phone at the same time? Dual wireless charging, that's where it's at. So what else is there to talk about on the Mach-E? There's another picture of the rear end that looks like 100% like a Model X, I must say. Giant hatch, and even the taillight design and the kind of the shoulders of the rear end, it all looks just like the old Model X here. So it's kind of a Model X clone for less money than the Model X, and probably more reliability and better service and body panels that line up. There's more bonuses. I'm saying a lot of probablys because obviously we have no idea. The car is slated for 2021, and the email says that you can pre-order it in mid-2020 and you'll get it at the end of 2020. So we'll see when this thing shows up. When the email shows up in my inbox, we can finally go order it. It will have an advanced driver assistance system, Copilot 360, and that will eventually allow hands-free highway driving. I'm sure it'll be pretty Tesla-like with just kind of lane departure and lane holding when it drops. Ford's been doing that for a long time. The Lincolns have had it for a long time. But the infotainment looks really cool, and the interior looks great. That tiny little screen right in front of the steering wheel, it's not above it or anything, it's just a little sliver telling you just the needed info instead of the Model 3, which is ridiculous, that you can only see what's going on if you look over to the center all the time like this, and it's kind of a weird driving experience. So thank you to Ford for doing it right, putting a little screen there that gives you some info, and then this giant tablet shoved in the middle of the dash, which looks fine, I'll give you that. It's probably got tactile buttons. It has heated seats, heated steering wheel if the car's loaded, so that's good. A Bang & Olufsen system option. I hope the GT has that. There was no options for me to select other than GT and then maximum drive system. So I hope it's got the B&O system. I'm a big fan of Bang & Olufsen. There's the pop-out door handles. There's the wireless charging mat. There's USB-A and USB-C ports. They could have gotten rid of the A ports and I would have been fine. USB-C is the only thing that we need at this point. And yeah, what else do we have here? Anything else that I haven't mentioned? Mostly just the fact that it looks really good. Mostly just this awesome infotainment system. 15.5-inch screen. That is huge. That's a laptop turned sideways. But anyway, I'm sure it'll be rock solid. It'll come with some Ford support, which should be fine. There should be some quality there. It's manufactured in America. So, of course, Tesla is too. But this is just, it's done by a car company that's been doing cars for a long time. And for some reason, it's the Mustang's namesake. Sure. I mean, that's kind of a weird thing. They could have just called the car the Mach-E, and I think we would have all been fine. But, hey, now I can say I have a Mustang. There's the picture of my spec, black on black. The seats look cloth. I really hope they're not. If they are, I'm canceling this in a heartbeat. So who else watched the Ford live stream on Twitter or Facebook or on their website, wherever it was playing? It seemed really forced. It was those Iris Elba and that other guy who, I don't even know who he was, someone involved with the Mustang project, going back and forth, and it seemed super forced. They were both reading the teleprompter and like spending a lot of time staring at the teleprompter and then trying to have like a natural conversation with each other, and it did not work at all. And that entire reveal seemed really weird with that Detroit Youth Choir singing and then the Mustang showing up and they were singing Drake or something. And then the GT part was the coolest one, where the hangar doors slid open and the GT drove in from the CGI video and was there in real life suddenly. That part, that seemed really cool. but it was just a really weird presentation that was really light on specs, and somehow The Verge and a couple other websites already had all the specs. Of course, it was probably just press release stuff. I should probably also mention that I've always wanted to do a true EV like this because the Tesla P100D is one of the cars that honestly changed my life. I say changed my life like it affected me in some way, but it just changed my opinion on cars altogether. It really, like, I've driven everything, you know, fast cars, exotic cars, sports cars, cheap cars, everything on the planet. I don't care what it is. And, you know, the P100D changed everything. It defies physics with how fast that car is. Unbelievable that there's no wheel spin when you're doing 2 seconds 0 to 60s. And the first time you do that and you put it in ludicrous or plaid, whatever mode is turned all the way up right now, ludicrous plus, and you stomp that pedal in the ground and your neck snaps back to the seat, and it just blows your mind. And the only thing going through your head is, how are the wheels not spinning? And if this does that, like all the other electric cars do, it'll be awesome. We'll see what happens as more details come out. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. So comment below if you're excited to see what a Mach-E is like when it drops. And if the Corvette is, you know, insane, who knows what'll happen. Maybe I need to chase down a Corvette for next year. But I'm very interested in this. We had to reserve it. Also, the reservations refundable if you decide you're not interested.